First Tips question today is sponsored by Trantola, your personal injury law firm of over 85 years in Hartford, Waterbury, Bridgeport, New Haven, and Torrington. Save some time. Dial 844-999-9999. Do the New England Patriots have a problem attracting free agents?
Well, they lose out on DeAndre Hopkins' deal, and it said he made a lot of meetings there. Now, that could be a Bill O'Brien situation. As we know, those two did not like each other down in Houston when they were a part of the team together. I don't know. I don't think this is anything new either. I think that it's more of a wide receiver running back thing because I think linebackers, defensive linemen, cornerbacks would all love to play for the New England Patriots. Right. I think it's more of Tom's not there anymore. I got to deal with Mac Jones. I don't think it's Bill Belichick as much as it is Mac Jones. And when Tom was there, I thought Bill Belichick did a great job, general manager, of like getting Wes Welkers and Amendolas. Even Randy Moss was somewhat a misfit toy in the league that had no home. And Bill Belichick was perfect at finding those guys for the style of offense, whoever the OC is at the time, that would really fit. And since I would just say since Tommy, not even McDaniels, but since Tommy has left, he has not been the biggest recruiting tool, or he was the biggest recruiting tool, I would say, for those offensive weapons. Plus, when you're out on the field, Mac Jones is no Tom Brady. He makes those pieces work. So when you know that as a receiver going in there, and it's going to be a struggle to even get the football on that offense.
Well, listen, and I agree with you. Mac Jones was 18th overall statistically with quarterbacks in the league, so he's barely in the top 20. Tannehill is outside the top 20. He was 22nd last year statistically with a great running back, great defense, and that's probably, like you said, the offensive coordinator. For the New England Patriots, you have differences with him, but at the end of the day, Tom Brady had almost 2,000 more throwing yards down in Tampa. So when you look at Tom Brady retiring, some of these other quarterbacks, it might not necessarily even be that. It's what is your situation in that locker room? Do you think this is a winning type team, locker room wise? Because you're picking a worse quarterback statistically than the New England Patriots. What does that say about the New England Patriots?
But I just don't think that the conversation, sometimes it goes to, well, man,
I'm just talking about DeAndre Hopkins.
Right.
I'm talking about a wide receiver. Why would a wide receiver pick a less productive passing team, as opposed to the New England Patriots who, listen, arguably Mac Jones, and you did have an almost 1,000-yard receiver. You had a 1,000-yard running back on the Patriots last year. It's not awful. But I also think division, too. I think that's one of the toughest divisions in football.
It's got to come back to Bill O'Brien. When it's just about this guy in particular, you have to look at the offensive coordinator, who is that, big question marks. You got to look at the quarterback and just the style of offense and how productive it is. When I'm thinking about the Tennessee Titans, and if I want to put a defensive game plan together, even if I'm DeAndre Hopkins and I'm thinking this way, the first and foremost thing is to stop Derrick Henry. When I'm thinking about putting the game plan together to stop the New England Patriots, I can play that straight up, man. I can play that straight up. I don't have to double anybody. I don't have to worry. Nobody is keeping me up at night like Derrick Henry does for defenses that are trying to play the Tennessee Titans. I do think that goes into the equation as well, plus the relationships of the guys that are making decisions like Bill O'Brien. Is DeAndre Hopkins, because this was the case in Houston, this was the case in Arizona. If he's not getting the football, I'm not saying like it's a selfish thing, a diva receiver thing.
No, you just want to.
If we're not moving it, if we're not scoring,
you want to be good.
I'm not getting it. I'm going to say something about it. And whether you listen to me or not, that's one thing. I think Vrabel is a guy that listens to his players to an extent to where it helps, and it is a constructive thing where everyone has a voice in what's going on.
They were 30th in passing last year, Tennessee. They were 28th in overall. They scored 17.5 points a game. So they were awful offensively, Tennessee, last year. So they're definitely probably going to change the attitude a little bit with their offense.
And just knowing that, we need you, bud. We need you. We're going to feed you. We're just going to throw it up so you can get it. I don't know. With the New England Patriots, though, I just don't think that the theory of, man, it's really hard and they take things serious and it's just tough and no fun.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that
go back to Randy Moss. I mean,
exactly.
you've had wide receivers have careers turned around with New England. Bill Belichick is the type of coach that he's going to put you in a position to succeed no matter what. He can get above, probably, good to above average players to be almost Pro Bowlers under him. It's not just the next man up mentality. It's we're going to bring out your strengths as opposed to your weaknesses. We're not going to expose you. We're going to make you part of our offense or defense, and you're going to shine no matter where we put you.
He's going to need more from what he had last year. They get Juju Smith-Schuster. Let's see what that adds, especially in between, not necessarily taking the top off the defense, but running that inside receiver role. Will Devontae Parker have a bigger role and a better year this year? And then you're waiting on Tyquan Thornton, a guy they got from Baylor who's only 22 years old. We'll see what happens. But in saying all of that, even for Mac Jones or whoever they're going to run out there, whether it's Bailey Zappi in a few weeks or whatever the quarterback situation is going to be, as a Patriot fan, as somebody on that offense, DeAndre Hopkins would feel a lot better today rather than being on the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, and they did draft a couple of wide receivers, but they were late rounds. The kid out of LSU was in the 6th round, and so was Demario Douglas out of Liberty in the 6th round. So I don't think he felt threatened by those two guys.
But they need to have some better offense this year. I mean, if they're going to compete with the teams that are on their block, and the Miami Dolphins, the Jets, and the Bills, you're going to have to score more.
Run the offense last year was a huge mistake.
Or not even knowing. Remember, we didn't even know at the time when week 1 started. And whether or not the media knew after the players knew, one way or another, it wasn't the same page, and it played out that way in the first few weeks, really all season long with that offense.
Listen, I couldn't agree with you more. And neither one of us are Patriots fans. But they're known for consistent offense. They're known for Tom Brady throwing the ball, and you haven't had the kind of quarterback not to replace Tom Brady, but to move forward. What kind of guy are you looking for? A mobile quarterback? I mean, you look at a lot of these teams, whether it's Josh Allen, whether it's Tua, they definitely have gone in a direction of we want some guy that can move around back there.
Oh, is this? Please tell me. I've been waiting for it. We're all just minutes away. What do you got?
Deal or no deal? No deal. Shefty tweet.
Saquon Barkley, no deal. So I'm guessing he's signing the tag, right? He's going to play on the franchise tag.
It's reasonable he didn't mention it in the
TBA?
Yeah.
TBA. The news on Saquon Barkley, the drama, the New York Giants. One thing's for sure, he will be a New York Giant running back next year. This year. Josh Jacobs, got any news from the Raiders? No news yet? All right. I'm going to keep on refreshing. Refresh.
All right, when we come back, I didn't get to pick, so I'll just kind of sit here and officiate a little bit here and say maybe you shouldn't have picked these people.
Yeah.
But who we had is coming up next, and then Chuck Caton will join us at 4:25, and we'll discuss the upcoming Hartford Whaler weekend with the Hartford Yard Goats. Always a exciting time in town, and brings up those memories of them bailing on the city and going to Carolina and winning a championship.
Come back.
A lot of tears in their beers up here.
Come back.
All right, hour number 2 of the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell coming up next.